And here's the scariest clown right there, Pennywise.
Woo-hoo, nice.
Oh,
That's Bill Skarsgård's original costume.
Wow.
That's his original costume is Pennywise. And then next to him is the portrait lady. That's the lady that comes out of her own portrait. She's all twisted up. So that's really cool. I wasn't going to put her in, and these friends of mine said, no, you got to do that because she's scary. But that's all the original stuff too.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? And behind you, this is Amber Tamlin's body. She's the first victim in The Ring. And then there's the Ring Girl. These are all original Chucky dolls.
Oh.
This is from the first movie. This down here is a good guy doll from the second movie. Next to that is one of the boxes of the good guys. They came in those boxes. Then the doll looks like this and then turns into that. And then in the back are two Chucky and Tiffany dolls from Bride of Chucky. Those are originals and the original costumes. And that head is a stun head worn by a guy named Ed Gale. In this box, there's a Freddy Krueger head from New Nightmare. That's 1994. By the way, Robert Englund's the nicest guy in the world. The nicest guy in the world. Awesome. There's one of his left hands. You can see it's beginning to kind of fall apart.
Yeah.
Some of that I left like that, and then a lot of it I restore.
No, I think
that's one of his original gloves, and that's from Nightmare 3. And this is from Nightmare 5. That's his sweater, his hat, his glove, and Robert Englund's entire makeup. That's all from that movie. It's all the real stuff. No, but this is James Wan stuff.
Good.
You guys, this
You got me.
is one of Kane Hodder's original suits, and this came out from part 7, and this was actually in Crystal Lake. It was a foam suit that was in water.
Oh.
So I had to take it, get all the water out of it, completely restore it, re-rubberize it because this thing was trashed.
Yeah, watch out.
Now listen, you know what this is?
Yes.
That's the original muzzle mask
I'm
they
afraid.
take Lecter off the plane with in Silence of the Lambs.
Wow.
And next to that is one of his straitjackets in his prison uniform.
That's cool.
Behind you is a Howard Studios Jack Nicholson. He's holding an original axe
Oh, wow.
from the movie and his coat and shirt. That's all the original stuff. And that's a beautiful figure of him because it's got punched hair, acrylic teeth, glass eyes, and he has silicone sweat all over him.
Oh,
So he has to be just like the movie.
oh my.
This is a movie called Dead Silence, and it's James Wan who made Saw. It was his second movie. This is the guy that made The Conjuring and Insidious and all those movies. He's a really good director, young guy. Dead Silence is about this creepy old lady that makes these ventriloquist dummies. That's one of the original dummies, and that's her in her costume and makeup, which we got directly from the guy who built all the stuff. And I just loved having her in here because that's creepy. Beth thinks that's scary.
Super creepy.
And it's such a good movie. A lot of people haven't seen it.
Silence.
Dead Silence it's called.
So funny.
Behind you is John Carroll Lynch's hero costume is Twisty. That's from American Horror Story.
Yes.
Includes his face and his makeup. And by the way, underneath the smiling teeth, if you take that out, his mouth is all torn up. I bet you know who that is.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, if you like aliens and predators, you'll like this room. It starts with this guy right here.
Oh, gee.
By the way, everything in here is a costume. You know where that came from?
I do know where that came from, Rich.
Tell me where.
Distortions Unlimited.
That's exactly right.
You know, I've heard of those guys.
They're awesome.
That's
that's
one of the
not
face
mine.
huggers. No, that's one of the originals from the lab scene.
Yeah.
And behind it is a predator from the movie Predators. And then over here, check this out. That's the original prop. That prop is actually what they start the movie on. They actually start the film Alien Resurrection on that shot of Sigourney Weaver. That's a Patrick McGee alien. Now, you guys, I'll show you something really cool. This is the holy grail of alien costumes, because that's the first costume from the first movie.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That took me like 5 years to put together. It came from 5 different sources, including one source in Hong Kong.
Wow.
But that's the whole thing. And there's a guy wearing that costume. Look how thin the legs are.
Oh, is this what was used?
Back here, this great big tall guy, that's a Predator from Predator 2. That's one of the original costumes from Predator 2. Wow. These 2 heads are War Party heads from Predator 2 as well. This is the monster that's born that thinks Sigourney Weaver's its mom.
Yes.
But Ed, you guys are responsible for, probably the most impressive piece in the show. This is the Queen Alien from the movie Aliens, the Jim Cameron movie made in 1986. Well, you know what, the thing about this, Ed, what's so beautiful, because you guys made these out from original molds and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we had to prop her up from the center,
Oh, yeah.
but that's okay. The rest of it worked out fine. But what's cool is the original molds for this, that's Stan's maquette, which was in his office. That was in his office. It was built for Cameron. And that was in Stan's office. But every single thing on that, literally every single thing on that's right here. Every rib lines up, everything. So the molds were dead accurate, like perfect. This is a face hugger from Aliens. But what's really, well, there's female parts.
Oh, yes.
But what's really cool in here is there's signatures of things. Look at.
Oh, did it get you that time?
A little bit.
Well, I got me just a little.
Got you more.
I can't believe that I get to scare the distortion guys. They scare everybody. And then this, you guys, is a Scar Predator from Alien versus Predator. Again, guy wearing this is 7'3", and this weighs 91 pounds.
Oh my God.
It's a foam suit, and then these are resin armaments.
Who wore it?
I don't know the name of the guy. And this at the same time, this one was working. Those are both from the same movie, but they both worked at the same time. So the guys in these things were tall and hot.
Yes.
And they had to run air up their legs and everything.
Wow.
This is from Redemption, and that's called the Bullwhip Predator, and he's got 2 different colored eyes. And again, this whole thing's a costume. And this is one of the only costumes they built for Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
You can see how as the films progress, the legs get wider and wider and wider.
Yeah.
So that's another costume. Look at this.
Yeah.
And here, the guy would see out of here,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and then this would be manipulated with cables or remotes. So very heavy stuff. Heavy.
They're my favorite.
That's the Crypt Keeper, who was the host of the HBO series. Now, Marsh, why don't you just go like really close?
Yeah, just
Go right,
real
just walk right up to him. All right, you guys, we're coming down here. Watch your step.
it, though.
Watch your step. This is a stunt suit worn by a stuntman from Jurassic Park 3. The giveaway for the Raptors on Jurassic 3 is they all had the porcupine quills. But this is actually a stunt suit worn by one of the stuntmen who had to walk around like this, and then they would have to manipulate the head. So again, really heavy costumes. Okay, and you guys,
Oh, I see it.
you know what that is? That's the hero T-Rex head from the very first movie.
No way.
That's the one that tries to take the kids out of the car. And when we go around to the front of it, when you imagine that thing's in a hydraulic lift coming after these kids, it's really scary. Here's another Doug Jones costume from Pan's Labyrinth. This is of the Pale Man, the guy, the monster that sees with his hands. Doug wore this section up, and then all the legs were just green CGI with computer trackers on them.
So he probably had green below his waist or something.
Yeah, he just used his regular legs, and they substituted all the legs. But that's the whole suit. Okay, come on over this way. Now, you know what this is?
Yes.
Okay, that's Jim Carrey's life cast and makeup as Stanley Ipkiss, and Peter Green's life cast and makeup as Dorian. That's all from The Mask, and this mask is in that picture.
Oh, no.
So that's one of the hero masks that Carrey's holding in the picture, in the movie. Now, I told you we had Walking Dead stuff. Both of these things are from The Walking Dead, but what's cool is these are the first 2 zombies they ever made. So it's Patient Zero,
really?
Patient Zero, and Bicycle Girl.
Yeah.
Bicycle Girl.
Yeah, that's fun.
Greg Nicotero made both of these for the series, for the original of the series. You guys, that's one of Rick Baker's makeups of Michael Jackson from Thriller. That's his makeup that he looked like when he danced at the end of the movie, and this is when he's earlier in the movie when he's a werewolf.
Yeah.
This is a creature from the Black Lagoon made from original molds. The original land suit, as I told you, got thrown out. So we rebuilt this, but what's cool about this is I had this completely rebuilt and then used at the Playboy Halloween parties that you guys went. And here it was. It was in the grotto. And there's Hefner, and there it is in the grotto.
Isn't that
So people say, well, what went on in the grotto? You know, you were there. It's like, well, I don't know, but the creature from the Black Lagoon was in there. That's the most famous face in silent movie horror.
Yes.
That's Lon Chaney Sr. from Phantom of the Opera, 1925, and this is a replica built by Mike Hill. Mike's artwork to me is almost as good as some of the originals.
Oh, I would have to agree with you.
He also did Quasimodo from 1939's Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is the best version. If you look behind you, this is what I was talking about. That's Elsa Lanchester from The Bride of Frankenstein. This extremely iconic female monster who had a movie named after her, and she's in 3 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's in no more than that.
It was an unforgettable 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Ha.
Most famous face in horror movies is Karloff. Karloff in real life was 5'11". He was not a big guy. This guy made Dracula in 31, which was this huge hit because Lugosi thought he was Dracula.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it hadn't been for the success of that movie, all these other ones wouldn't have gotten made.
Is that right?
And I love Lugosi, so I had to have him in here. These are all Mike Hill figures as well.
Yeah.
There's a
Works every time, doesn't it?
this is the sick Triceratops that Laura
Yes.
Dern tries to help in the movie. That's the hero head. Here's another one of these beautiful raptor insert heads. Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
This is the baby Stegosaurus that Juliana Moore is trying to take pictures of when the parents come back.
Yes. It's really gorgeous.
Now you guys know about life casts.
Oh, yes.
Everybody knows how life casts are used, right? Okay, the only one that's not in place or is out of place is Bruce Lee. I found Bruce Lee's original life cast, the only one ever made. It was made for the Green Hornet. That's a copy of it. The original's at my home. But here we have Vincent Price, Chaney, Laurie, Christopher Lee, Karloff, Lugosi, and the Karloff one on the left. Those life casts are plaster castings the makeup department builds of these guys' faces, and then the actors can go home and they build the makeups on them. This was used for The Mummy, and for The Mummy up here. That's the same movie. He starts off looking like that and then becomes this.
Wow.
And for Frankenstein, this one. That's all Karloff from 31.
You know what?
And you guys, this process was
That's
started
awesome.
in 1923, and that's the process they use literally today.
Yeah.
The same exact process they use
Yeah.
today.
You know what's weird to see this is so much of that makeup is this.
Oh, well, that's why he was so great.
Yeah.
That's why James Whale hired
'cause
him.
It would all move totally naturally.
He had
Just
this weird
was-
face.
Yeah.
Whale thought he had a really, quote, interesting face.
Yeah.
But Karloff, in a way, was almost offended when he was first approached because Whale said, "You'd make a great monster," and he was all dressed in his nice clothes and everything. But it changed his life, so he was happy about
Yeah,
it.
of course.
He was very happy about it. All Werewolves. That's a Lon Chaney Jr. That's that's a Mike Hill piece too.
Right.
That's from 1941, but beautiful, beautiful work.
Yeah.
This is a Rick Baker,
That's nice.
American Werewolf in London.
Wow.
This is Anthony Hopkins' hero costume from the Wolfman. The main Wolfman in the remake, the Rick Baker one, is Benicio del Toro. But his dad is played by Anthony Hopkins, and he's a werewolf too. That whole suit is hand-punched hair. So that's one of his original suits, and that's an original suit from The Howling. And this movie came out the same year this movie did, so they were in a rush to try to get who comes out first.
I'm such a fan of American Werewolf in London. I'd have to watch that
I
again.
love that.
So there's some Beetlejuice
Yeah.
stuff, and then this, you guys, that's Vladimir Furtick's original stunt head and his costume, season 4 from the Game of Thrones. That all came out of England. All the Game of Thrones fans love that. Now, you know who this is? You know who that is, Marsh? Look.
I think
coming
the
after you.
But I
cameraman
love
jerked a little.
Twisted Blade.
Yeah, that was, to me, that was
You want to see that
the
again,
greatest
Adam?
horror movie ever.
Okay, you ready? Yeah, it's a great film.
That's nice.
This is Joseph Bashira's screen-used makeup effects head in his costume from The Conjuring. That's a guy playing a female witch. She sits on top of the dresser and scares all the little kids. He's actually the composer of the movie. Okay, now here's another female hero raptor from Jurassic Park 1. And here's a great view. You can see a good, I know you guys are making T-Rex heads.
Yeah.
That's a great view
That's
of the
really
Stan
nice.
Winston one.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I take a shot.
And then what about this? That's his vest, his coat, his vest, his shirt, and his tie. This is all Heath Ledger stuff from, and then the face is really, really cool. Anyway, this is one of the most famous Jokers, and the Academy Award-winning Joker. He won an Academy Award for playing the Joker, and around the corner, you're going to see another guy who won for playing the Joker, which is Joaquin Phoenix, who won in 2019 for playing him. And then the Jack Nicholson Joker's down at the Chinese Theater now in the lobby, in a glass case. He's down there now. This is another Doug Jones costume. That's Abe Sapien, who's Hellboy's sidekick. And then this is Ron Perlman's life cast in makeup as Hellboy was his entire costume and his gun. This is the Beast from X-Men First Class. Again, that's a completely hand-punched costume. All that hair is hand-punched. That was a really good movie, and that's a really good version of the Beast. And all three of these guys, another Doug Jones on the end, the Silver Surfer, that's from Rise of the Silver Surfer, but all three of these guys are from the Fantastic Four movies. So you have the Thing and you have the main villain, which is Doctor Doom. Those are all screen use costumes. Jack Skellington here, this Jack Skellington, the real Jack Skellington's a miniature.
Yeah.
It's about this big. That was in Burton's office, so I thought I'd get it. However, the Jim Carrey costume is all the original costume and the shoe and the leggings and the shoes and the makeup from the Grinch. That's all the real thing. Here's another Peter. He wore this.
Yes.
Beth doesn't like spiders. Beth is afraid of spiders. These
Like
are
the one that's crawling up her shoe.
these are all spiders from Iraq. Oh, that got him. That was perfect. We got the cameraman. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the cameraman that time. See that? Beth doesn't like jumping spiders.
Oh, yeah.
You want to do that again? Because we say, here, look at these spiders, and the people are looking at them. You know what that is.
Yes, of course.
And the people who did the makeup and hair are friends of mine. They heard we were doing this, so they came in and refashioned his hair.
Oh my God.
So there's this whole costume and a set of his original hands. That's all from Edward Scissorhands.
Wow.
So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
The naked woman behind you is Rebecca Romaine. That's from X-Men.
Wow.
And that's her as Mystique. And then over here, right here is Michael Keaton, one of his hero costumes from Batman Returns. That's 1992. By the way, everything in this show is the same height and weight of the actors playing them. So I use life casts to make the faces, and everything's exactly their size. If they look small, that's because they were small. If they look tall, it's because they were tall.
Oh,
Wow, that's
Michelle Pfeiffer is only 5'3" in real life. She's wearing 4-inch heels, so they lifted her up. That's one of her original Catwoman costumes. Ann Cowell from 1992. And Danny DeVito is only 4'11", and here he is in his entire penguin costume. So there he was as he appeared in the movie, and that's even his umbrella.
That's the real one.
That's all, everything's the real one. The real costume, real hat, real bows, real everything.
Good grief.
I love that you did that, you know, that you kept the right size.
And then behind you, this is the first Michael Keaton suit he ever wore.
Yeah.
In '89, that was for the first movie.
Oh, that's fun.
So this was the first Tim Burton movie, the first Batman movie. Next to him is Val Kilmer and Chris O'Donnell, both from Batman Forever. And that's where the suits started changing. All the Batman suits are made of neoprene.
Yes.
So we have silicone, slip rubber, foam rubber, and neoprene rubber. So everything's different, but those were sculpted down to be smooth. In the movie, they're supposed to be like bulletproof and everything, but in real life, they made them so they flex so much because they're so light. Yeah. All right.
You know, we had that mask. That's different between us and you. We got to borrow it for 3 weeks. You get to keep it.
This is Wesley Snipes' hero costume, glasses and armaments, everything from Blade 2. And that costume with those armaments is exactly what appears on the one sheet of the movie. So if you see the one sheet, there it is, exactly what he's wearing. And what's really cool is behind that, that's a Sylvester Stallone costume from Judge Dredd. And that was designed by Versace. And then next to that is a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit from Spider-Man 2. And underneath it is his muscle suit. So that's the hero muscle suit too. Yeah, that's like the original Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin helmet from Spider-Man. And then this is a Hugh Jackman Battle Arena costume as Wolverine from the first X-Men. Behind that is a RoboCop 2 hero Peter Weller costume.
Oh, man.
And here's Arnold Schwarzenegger's hero Mr. Freeze costume. That costume weighs 81 pounds.
Oh, my gosh. Well, he could handle it.
Yeah, that costume's 81 pounds and the gun weighs about another 12. But it's resin and then it's heavy cloth and it's all kinds of bunting. And then there's an undersuit. You can see parts of the undersuit under it. Okay, next to that is Alicia Silverstone's costume. That's her screen-used Batgirl costume from Batman and Robin. That's the whole thing too.
Oh my.
Okay, you guys, this is my favorite Batman suit. This is the Soner suit worn by Val Kilmer in Batman Forever. And what's cool about it is, this is the only Batman design suit that crossed over between two movies. So Kilmer wore it in Batman Forever, and then Clooney wore it in Batman and Robin. Not the same suit, but the same design.
Yes.
This happens to be the one that Kilmer wore.
Wow.
Marsha, come down here.
Marsha.
Yes, sir.
You know who that is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I think I've
was
seen
just
him.
looking at him and I was like,
And then you know who
that's
that
my
is.
Favorite.
That's a Christian Bale suit from Batman.
Oh, geez. You did get me.
As the Rocketeer That's his helmet, his entire costume, and the rocket pack. And if you look carefully in his left hand, he's holding the accelerator button. That's the thing that makes him fly. You don't get to see the practical T-Rexes and things like that anymore. These are all from Jurassic Park. This whole setup is from Jurassic Park.
Look at that.
That's one of the female raptor heads from Jurassic Park 2. She's about 650 pounds, and all the hydraulics are still in her.
Oh my God.
So that's absolutely beautiful. This was all built by the Stan Winston Company. These are all Rick Baker Gremlins. These are all from Gremlins, the new batch. And that includes the Gizmo puppet. That's one of the original puppets. And all of these guys are puppets as well. Some of them are half puppets, and you can see in the back, we left some of the handles that manipulate their arms.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that's all. Now, Mila Kunis, that's her hero costume, hat and broom from Oz the Great and Powerful. And that's her life cast and makeup with a fake nose and a fake chin on it. But that's all the stuff she wore in the movie. And then this, that's my favorite figure. That's my favorite figure in the whole show.
Yeah.
Mike Hill built that.
Oh, nice.
That's Margaret Hamilton from The Wizard of Oz. Now,
Truly amazing.
okay, now you guys, all Lord of the Rings stuff. I got this from Weta. This is Lurtz's hero armor and his makeup from Lord of the Rings. That's all the hero stuff. Peter Jackson sent me this orc and that orc because Beth and I went to visit him at Weta in Wellington. He was so nice, and I said I was collecting his stuff, so he sent me that stuff. All of these are orcs from the movies, except this is from Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, and the Cyclops is from Narnia. That's a silicone head with all the cabling behind it, so it moves its eye, opens and closes its eye, moves its mouth. That's all on the one sheet as well from the Narnia movie. The two great big guys are Sleestaks. Those are both from the Will Ferrell movie Land of the Lost. And then this is Goro from Mortal Kombat, another really heavy costume.
Yeah, really.
This is one of the great pterodactyl heads that the Stan Winston Company made for Jurassic Park 3. The teeth are not foam teeth. Those are all like shark teeth, and they're really, really, really sharp.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, this is one of the puppet heads, but about a year ago, I bought the entire nest. So it's a pterodactyl mother. She's about 9.5 feet tall. She has an 18-foot wingspan, and she has 5 of the babies that she's feeding in the nest. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen.
Where's she at?
They aren't here. I mean, I didn't have room for them.
Yeah.
However, I think we're going to have, because Joe Petro's restoring them all.
Oh, okay.
And I think we'll probably put 2 of them in here, 2 of the babies.
Yeah.
But it's these puppets are unbelievable. I mean, can you imagine this thing is like as tall as this?
Oh yeah.
So cool. Okay, now I'll show you something over here that's kind of cool. Oh, by the way, this is a Spinosaur. That's another 600-pound hydraulic head. That was built for Jurassic Park 3. The Spinosaur is the T-Rex killer. So this was also the one that kills a guy and swallows him and swallows the cell phone. So every time he comes around, you can hear him ringing. Again, a practical head. Most of these heads are not practical anymore. They're all CGI.
It's so
but these
sad.
are all the practicals. That maquette back there, that's a maquette of what the whole monster was supposed to look like. This is a Kyle Thompson replica, but we put it in because it's Fawn from Pan's Labyrinth, and that's also another Doug Jones costume. You're going to see some more original Doug Jones costume, but we wanted to put that in. That's obviously the most famous film. You guys, that's a touring costume that was built by ILM for The Empire Strikes Back. And in the plastic box, that's one of the production-built heads that was used in both the Star Wars 1 and 2.
Oh.
So that's from A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. This is Alec Guinness's life cast and makeup as Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's really awesome.
That is.
Boba Fett's from the second movie, and this is a stormtrooper from the first movie. We're going to see a lot more Star Wars stuff, but we're going to head this way first, and then we'll come around the corner.
Okay.
Are you having fun?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is
amazing.
well.
Yeah,
you know, if
the
you
amount
love
of-
these films, it's like you're
In heaven.
It's like, well, what is it like artifacts,
But
like
not
ancient
only
artifacts
that,
of film?
And those bulls ended up with the Stein brothers, the Cinema Secrets guys. This is a Terminator. This is an endoskeleton from Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, wow.
That's also a hydraulic statue. It's very, very heavy, but it works. It does everything. Both of the endoskeletons are from T2. This is Arnold Schwarzenegger's hero costume, one of them. I actually have 2 more of them, but this is one of them from the movie, and that's his hero grenade launcher. Well, it's the rubber one he uses,
Right.
but that's the one he carried around in the movie. Now, guys, what's really cool is this is his appearance. That head came from Stan Winston as well. Behind it is next to the left is Robert Patrick's. That's one of his hero suits. as the liquid T-1000 robot. And the cool thing about that is those things all open and close. There's cables behind it, and they all breathe. That's Ray Park's original costume, his hero costume, as Darth Maul, who was my favorite villain. This is an Ewok from the third movie, and that's a Sand Trooper from the first movie, a Cantina band member, and that's from the first movie.
Huh.
Wow. Lots of cool, and I have a lot of Star Wars miniatures too, which are really cool.
Oh.
All right, now we're moving this way. The reason I left the Metaluna Mutant in here, that's a really famous Universal monster from 1955, a Technicolor movie called This Island Earth. Kind of a cheesy movie, but the reason...
Oh no, it's such a classic.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
The reason I put it in is because I found the original head, hands, and feet mold, so I had the rest of it rebuilt. But you can see how Tim Burton was obviously influenced by this movie because of the brains in the Mars Attacks guy. All these guys have giant brains.
Yeah.
Right.
So we wanted to put them all together. That's the ID4 autopsy alien that they lay on the table and cut open and the little guy comes out of it. Completely silicone. The whole thing's built out of silicone. It weighs a ton.
Yeah.
Really, really, really cool. So there's a lot of people that come through this thing. Did you guys have fun?
Oh, it's
It's